Welcome to It's English Podcast, where English feels easy, calm, and natural.
Hey there, English learners. Welcome back to It's English Podcast, the place where real life meets real English.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Mary. And honestly, we are so glad you clicked on this episode today, because this one is personal.
Very personal, like a little too personal.
Okay, let me start with a question, and I want you to be honest with yourself. When was the very last time you said, out loud or in your head, I'm just gonna look, and then you bought something anyway?
Oh no, that was me yesterday.
Yesterday, Brian? Really?
I opened one shopping app just to check a price, just to compare, and somehow, I genuinely don't know how, a new t-shirt ended up in my cart, and then in my apartment by the next afternoon.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. Just looking is the first step to just buying every single time.
It's like the app whispers to you, like a little voice, come on, one more thing won't hurt, it's on sale anyway.
And then boom, money is gone, your closet is full, and somehow your brain still isn't happy. If you're listening to this right now and thinking, uh-oh, that is me, hey, same. You are not alone in this.
Not even a little bit. We've both been stuck in what I call buy more mode. That cycle of sales, ads, influencers, must-have lists, new drops. It's constant, it's loud, and honestly, it's exhausting.
There's this pressure everywhere. Pressure to show, pressure to post, pressure to keep up. Even when your bank account is quietly screaming, please, please stop.
My bank account almost fainted last year, like it needed emergency help.
Mine needed CPR, full resuscitation, after every big sales season.
So today's episode is for anyone who's ever felt trapped by that pressure. We're talking about materialism, why it's so powerful, why it pulls us in, and we're sharing the 10 minimalist rules that genuinely change the way we live.
10 rules, but don't panic. These are not scary, life-ruining, throw-everything-away rules. You are not going to end this episode living with one spoon.
One spoon, no thank you.
We still like comfort. We still enjoy things. We're not against owning stuff.
We're just against buying things that quietly steal your peace of mind. That's the line.
And by the end of today, you'll also walk away with powerful English vocabulary, words and phrases about money, mindset, and the way we talk about spending in everyday life.
This is a B1 level episode, so if you're intermediate, perfect. If you're a strong beginner, you can still follow along. Just relax. Let the English wash over you. Take what you understand and don't stress about every single word.
That is still real learning. Seriously. And if you enjoy learning English this way, through real conversations about real life, please hit that like button and subscribe to It's English Podcast. It genuinely helps more learners find us.
And after you listen, leave us a comment. Which one hits closer to home for you? Buying too many things or feeling that pressure to look successful? Even one sentence. We read everything.
All right, here's how today's episode is going to flow.
First, we're going to look at why materialism is so powerful. Not to blame ourselves, just to understand it. Because understanding something is the first step to changing it.
Then, we share our 10 minimalist rules, the rules that helped us stop buying problems and start choosing peace.
And finally, we do our word tour. We slow everything down, collect all the strong vocabulary from today, explain each word with simple examples, and make sure it sticks in your English brain.
We love when our listeners write to us saying, I learned new vocabulary just by listening, without even opening a dictionary. That is the goal here. Life first, language inside.
No dictionary battles on this podcast. Officially banned.
Okay, let's start with the real question. Why do we fall for it in the first place?
Because on paper, it sounds so easy, right? Just don't buy things you don't need. Simple.
Right. And then you open Instagram for 30 seconds, and suddenly you need a new skincare routine, a standing desk, and a very specific type of water bottle.
A water bottle that will apparently change your entire life.
Apparently. So let's talk about 3 quiet reasons why materialism feels so strong. Not to judge ourselves, just to see clearly.
Reason 1. Your brain genuinely loves new things.
This is real psychology. When you see something new, a new color, a new design, a new version of something you already own, your brain gets this little spark, a tiny rush of excitement, like a small firework.
And companies know this. They've built entire business models around it. New drops, new collections, limited edition, just launched. The message is always, something new is here. Don't miss it.
And we fall for it not because we're foolish, but because we're human. Our brains are wired to notice novelty. It's actually a survival instinct that shopping apps have turned into a weapon.
I've definitely talked myself into buying things simply because they were new. Not because I needed them, not because my old one was broken, just it was new. And my brain said, interesting.
Maybe this new thing will somehow change my life.
Exactly. And that's reason 1. Our brain loves new. And we can get carried away before we even realize it's happening.
Reason 2. Everyone around you makes it look completely normal.
Let's use a real example, the smartphone situation.
Oh yes, because in many places now, it feels like you need the latest phone just to be normal, just to be a regular, functioning human being.
I went through this. My phone worked perfectly, 0 problems, but people around me started making small comments. Oh, you still have that model? Or have you seen the new camera on this one? Just little things.
And slowly, those little comments start to change how you see your own phone. It goes from works fine to kind of embarrassing.
Nothing was broken except the feeling. The phone was the same. I had changed.
And everywhere you look, ads, influencers, YouTube videos, the message is the same. If you care about quality, if you're a serious person, if you want the best, you need the latest.
So the phone stops being a communication device and becomes a status symbol, a way of showing the world who you are.
And this is what we call keeping up with the Joneses. The Joneses just means the people around you, friends, coworkers, people online, that you quietly compare yourself to.
You don't want to look like you're behind, so your brain says, I'll save up, I'll cut back on other things, but I must upgrade.
And that feeling, that I must, that's the trap. Because it stops being a choice. It feels like a necessity, even when deep down you know you wanted that money for something else. A course, a trip, your future.
And it's not just phones, it's clothes, bags, cars, coffee shops. Wherever there's comparison, this pressure follows.
And reason 3 is perhaps the sneakiest of all. We don't see the full cost.
We see the price tag in the moment. We don't see all the other costs, the time, the energy, the space it takes in our home, and the mental weight it carries.
You buy one small thing. It feels like no big deal. Then another and another. Each one is tiny, but if you add them all up at the end of the month, it's a significant amount of money and a significant amount of stuff.
And all of it sits somewhere, in your home, in your mind, taking space, taking quiet energy.
So materialism feels powerful for 3 reasons. It gives your brain that spark of novelty, it uses social comparison to push you, and it hides the real cost until much later.
But, and this is important, you are not powerless.
Not at all. Because while we can't control all the ads or all the pressure, we can create small, gentle rules for ourselves. Rules that protect our money, our space, our peace of mind.
And that is exactly where our 10 minimalist rules come in.
Okay, rule 1 has a bit of an edge to it.
It does, but it's the good kind. Buy nice or buy twice. This means if you always choose the cheapest option available, there's a real chance you end up paying more in the long run because you keep replacing the same cheap thing again and again.
Brian, tell them about the shoes.
The shoes. So I had this habit for years of buying the most affordable sneakers I could find. They looked fine for maybe 2 weeks, then pain, holes, worn out soles, back to the shop. Another cheap pair. Same result.
You weren't just buying shoes, you were buying future problems on a payment plan.
Exactly. More pain, more money, more waste. And one day I sat down and actually added up all the cheap pairs I'd bought over 2 years. I could have bought one genuinely good pair and still had money left over.
And this is what being truly frugal actually means. Frugal doesn't mean cheap. Frugal means smart, thoughtful, intentional. You choose quality over quantity, and you make do with that quality item for a long time.
Now I have one rule. Buy the best quality I can honestly afford right now. Not the most expensive label, not a luxury brand, just the best my budget genuinely allows. And then I use it deeply for as long as possible.
And to avoid impulse buys when shopping for something important, Brian started doing something small but powerful.
I research, I slow down, I read reviews, I compare, I think about it overnight. Research is like a pause button for my spending instincts. It gives my brain time to breathe and make a real decision.
So, Rule 1 isn't telling you to buy luxury. It's telling you buy something solid, use it with respect, and stop replacing the same cheap item every few months. Your future self and your future budget will thank you.
This phrase is strong.
It is, but let's say it simply. If your gut feeling about something is not a clear, confident yes, it's probably not for you. A meh feeling is a no.
Because meh items become clutter. They sit in your home untouched, taking space, quietly making you feel vaguely guilty every time you see them.
I had a jacket like this. Every time I opened my wardrobe, I saw it. I'd bought it because it was on sale, because someone said it looked good on me, but I never wore it. Every time I thought about it, I thought, maybe next time.
The wardrobe ghost.
Exactly. It was just haunting me. I'd talked myself into buying it and then talked myself into keeping it for over a year. Never once wore it.
Now your filter is simple. Is this a clear yes or is it a no?
If I have to convince myself, it's a no. If I have to find reasons to justify it, it's a no. And you know what? This rule works beyond shopping too. Projects, social obligations, relationships. If something in your heart isn't a real yes, it becomes heavy.
So before you buy or commit to anything, ask yourself honestly, am I genuinely excited about this? Or am I bored, sad, comparing myself to someone, or just filling a moment?
If it's not a strong yes, it's a kind no. And kindness towards your future self is what minimalism is actually about.
Oh, this one called me out completely.
What happened?
I used to have this habit of buying storage solutions, beautiful boxes, wicker baskets, little labels, a whole organization system. I genuinely believed that if I could just get everything organized, I would become a new, better, more put-together person.
The organization makeover fantasy.
Completely. But what I slowly realized was, I didn't have an organizing problem. I had a too much stuff problem. I was moving clutter from one beautiful box into another beautiful box. Nothing was actually leaving.
And if you organize clutter, you still have clutter. It's just in prettier containers.
So now the rule is, before I buy any storage, any baskets, any shelves, any organizers, I declutter first. What can leave? What's taking space that doesn't serve me? What am I keeping out of guilt or habit rather than real use?
And then you organize what's left.
And suddenly, you often don't need any new storage at all. The space was already there. You just couldn't see it through all the stuff.
I did this with all my old paperwork and random cables. I wanted to buy a whole filing system, but when I actually decluttered, I found 3 things I actually needed and about 40 things I was keeping for no reason. The problem wasn't storage, the problem was volume.
Declutter first. Organize what truly matters. The order is everything.
Now, this sounds tough, but it's actually one of the kindest rules.
It doesn't mean throw away everything today. It means check in regularly. Look around your space every few months and ask honest questions. Do I actually use this? Does this genuinely add value to my life right now? Or am I keeping it for a someday that never arrives?
Because your life changes. What you needed 3 years ago isn't necessarily what you need today.
I had a whole collection of things I was keeping for special occasions, nice items, expensive items, but the special occasion never came, and they just sat there, getting older, making me feel quietly guilty.
The someday items. I'll use this someday, and someday keeps moving further and further away.
Now, every few months, I do a small check. Clothes, books, kitchen items, and if I haven't used something in a long time and my life has been completely fine without it, I let it go. I find it a better home.
And your space starts to feel like something alive, like a place where you actually live, not a storage unit for a version of yourself that used to exist.
Less museum of your past, more support for your present.
This is my personal favorite for online shopping, and it has saved me an embarrassing amount of money.
Tell them.
Okay, so instead of buying something the moment you feel that pull, that urge, that excitement, you park the desire. You put it on a wish list.
Notes app, Google Doc, a physical notebook, anywhere.
You write down the name of the item, the price, and one honest reason why you want it. And then you wait. 1 week, 2 weeks, a full month if you can manage.
And something almost magical happens.
So many items just quietly disappear from the list. The desire fades. You wake up 2 weeks later and think, I can't even remember why I wanted that.
Because you've already experienced the excitement of wanting it. You've held it in your mind, and that emotional need has been met without the purchase.
And the ones that stay, the things you still genuinely want after a month of waiting, those are the real ones. Those are intentional choices, not impulse buys.
And when you do buy them, it feels different. You're not getting carried away. You're making a conscious decision you feel good about.
Wish list and wait. It's such a small habit, but it changes everything about your relationship with shopping.
This rule changed my mornings completely.
Because a messy, disorganized space creates mental noise. Even when you don't consciously notice it, your brain is tracking all that chaos. It's using energy just to process the disorder.
When everything has a home, when your keys live in one place, your wallet is always in the same pocket, your charger is always in the same drawer, your day gets easier, quieter, calmer.
No more running around your apartment at 8 a.m. asking yourself where your keys are.
I gave my wallet one specific spot, one pocket in one bag, always. At first it felt almost too simple, like this is so obvious, why haven't I always done this? And then I realized I'd never actually committed to it before.
And with clothes, group by type. Tops together, trousers together. What you wear most, easiest to reach. Your brain doesn't have to work hard to figure out where anything is.
It's like leaving a gift for your future self. Here, I made this easy for you. You're welcome.
And when things have a home, it's much easier to put them back. The clutter doesn't build up in the same way.
Ooh, this is a big one.
Some things look wonderful in the shop or on your screen, but they come carrying extra. Extra work, extra cost, extra stress. And you don't see any of that at the moment of purchase.
Give me an example.
Okay, I saw a beautiful white rug, absolutely gorgeous, clean, minimal, aesthetic. I stood in the shop and thought about how perfect it would look in my apartment.
Oh no.
And then I paused and I thought about my actual life. I drink coffee in the living room. I cook things that spill. I don't enjoy cleaning. If I buy this rug, I'm also buying weekly anxiety every time someone walks through my door.
The rug wasn't just a rug, it was a cleaning contract you didn't agree to.
Exactly. So I didn't buy it, and I've never regretted that decision, not for a single day.
Same thing with clothes that need dry cleaning, shoes that look stunning but hurt after 10 minutes, furniture that requires 12 other specific things to match it. Even with secondhand shopping, something can be wonderful, but if it requires you to completely rearrange your life to accommodate it, maybe it's not for you right now.
And of course, there's the big one, buying with debt for things you want but don't need. When you swipe your card for a desire and you can't pay it back immediately, you're not just buying the item, you're buying future stress, future payments, future interest. You're borrowing peace of mind from your future self and handing it to your present one.
Buying a problem for tomorrow.
So now, before any significant purchase, we ask, if I buy this, what else comes with it? What extra cost, extra work, extra worry arrives with this item?
And if the answer feels heavy, we let it go.
Hello! We're excited to show you our native speech capabilities. This one is beautifully simple and surprisingly powerful.
Before you buy something, ask yourself, honestly, why do I want this?
And then listen carefully to the first honest answer in your mind, not the polished justification you construct after the fact, the real first answer.
Because there are weak whys and strong whys.
A weak why, it's on sale. Being on sale is not a reason to buy something. It's a discount on something you may not need.
Another weak why? Everyone has it. Or, I don't want to feel left out. Those are social pressure whys. They lead to purchases you'll feel indifferent about within a week.
A strong why, my current one is genuinely broken or worn out. I use something like this every single day, and this is a better version. This will help me learn, grow, rest, or do my work better.
When you have a strong why, buying feels intentional, clean. You don't second-guess it afterward.
When you can't find a good why, that silence is usually your answer, and you can say no without drama. Not today, not yet.
Your why is a filter. Slow it down and let the filter do its work.
You might have heard of this before. The idea of keeping things that spark joy comes from a very well-known approach to tidying and organizing your life, and we've made it our own.
The rule is simple. Keep or buy things that genuinely create a small, honest spark of joy when you hold them or use them. Not fake joy, not maybe someday joy, real, present joy.
When you hold the item or imagine using it, does it make you feel light, happy, calm, or does it make you feel stressed, guilty, uncertain, or just flat?
I had an old t-shirt. Nothing special, not stylish, a little faded, but every time I wore it at home, I felt completely comfortable, relaxed. That's joy. That's a keep.
Joy doesn't always look Instagram-worthy. Sometimes joy is a ridiculous mug with a cat on it, a soft, misshapen hoodie, a book you've read 4 times, things that are genuinely yours.
The rule says, if it truly sparks joy, or if it genuinely serves your life in a meaningful way, it can stay. If it doesn't, maybe it's time to release it, with gratitude, not guilt.
And when you apply this rule to buying, not just keeping, you stop filling your home with almost and maybe. You treat yourself to things that truly matter to you, and only those things.
This last rule is the bravest one, and it came from a really difficult period.
Tell us.
I used to use buy now, pay later for lots of things. Not big things necessarily, just lots of small and medium things. It felt easy, painless even. Future me will handle it.
And how did future you feel about that arrangement?
Future me was exhausted and stressed and constantly doing the mental math of what was owed and when. The joy of the item disappeared within days of buying it, but the payment, that stayed, for months sometimes.
The emotional return on investment was terrible.
So now my personal rule is this. If I cannot comfortably pay for something in full today without stress, without restructuring my budget, without worrying, then I am not ready to buy it. I wait. I save up. I make it a real goal.
And two things happen when you save up for something. One, you sometimes realize you didn't actually want it that much. The desire fades. And two, when you do finally buy it, having waited, having saved, the feeling is completely different. There's pride in it, real satisfaction.
Both outcomes are wins.
And I want to be thoughtful here. This rule isn't attacking people who use payment plans for genuinely necessary, significant purchases. A car that gets you to work, medical expenses, a necessary appliance. Life requires us to sometimes spread costs.
This rule is specifically about protecting yourself from emotional shopping, from the impulse to charge your card for wants, not needs, when you can't actually absorb the cost.
It's about saying, I respect my future. I don't want to trade my long-term peace for a short-term feeling of having more.
And that is what real minimalism is. Not just fewer objects, more calm inside, more space in your home, your mind, and your bank account.
Those are our 10 rules, beautiful people. You don't have to adopt all 10 by tomorrow morning. Pick one, just one, and watch how it changes things.
All right, welcome to our word tour. This is the part of the episode where we slow right down and make sure all the vocabulary we've used today sticks in your English.
No rushing, no dictionary fights, just clear, simple explanations and real-life examples.
Let's go through them one by one. Word 1, frugal.
Frugal.
Frugal means you are careful and thoughtful with money in a smart, positive way. Being frugal is not the same as being cheap. A cheap person avoids spending at all costs, even when it hurts them. A frugal person thinks carefully about where their money goes and makes wise choices.
Example. She's very frugal, so she researches every purchase carefully before committing.
Or, being frugal helped him save significantly without feeling deprived. Phrase 2, impulse buy. 2 words.
An impulse buy is something you purchase suddenly, without planning, in the heat of a moment. You see it, you feel an emotional push, and you buy it before your rational brain can ask, do I actually need this?
Impulse buys are often driven by emotions, not real needs. Boredom, stress, excitement, loneliness.
Example. I went to the shop for just one thing, but 3 impulse buys came home with me.
Or, I try to avoid impulse buys when I'm tired or emotionally overwhelmed. Phrasal verb 3, cut back on.
Cut back on means to reduce something, not to stop completely, just to do it less. It implies a more balanced approach.
Example, I've been cutting back on online shopping this year and my savings have grown.
Or, she cut back on takeaway meals to save more each month.
Phrase 4, save up.
Save up means to set money aside gradually, over time, toward a specific goal. You don't spend everything you earn, you reserve a portion with a purpose in mind.
This phrase gives your money meaning and direction. Example, they saved up for 8 months to finally take that trip.
Or, I'm saving up for a better laptop rather than buying on credit.
Phrasal verb 5, talk yourself into.
To talk yourself into something means to gradually convince yourself to do it, even when part of you feels hesitant or uncertain. You build a case in your own mind. You find reasons. You justify.
It's that internal negotiation we do when we already kind of know the answer is no. Example, I talked myself into keeping that jacket for over a year, even though I never wore it.
Or, he talked himself into the purchase by telling himself he deserved a reward.
Phrasal verb 6. Fall for.
To fall for something means to be deceived by it, or to believe something too easily. You can fall for an advertisement, a clever discount, a social pressure.
It implies that you were tricked or that something got past your defenses. Example, I fell for the marketing and bought something I never actually used.
Or, she refused to fall for the pressure to upgrade her perfectly functioning phone.
Phrasal verb 7. Make do.
To make do means to use what you have, even if it's not perfect or ideal. You manage. You work with your current situation instead of seeking something new.
It's a quiet, peaceful skill. It tells your brain, what I have right now is enough. Example, I wanted new furniture, but I decided to make do with what I had for another year.
Or, they made do with a small apartment and still made it feel like home.
Phrasal verb 8. Keep up with the Joneses.
This expression means trying to match or surpass the lifestyle, possessions, or appearance of the people around you. The Joneses are simply other people, neighbors, colleagues, people you follow online, that you compare yourself to.
It almost always involves buying things not because you need them, but because you don't want to feel less than. Example, he bought a car he couldn't afford just to keep up with the Joneses at work.
Or, the moment she stopped trying to keep up with the Joneses, she felt genuinely free.
Phrasal verb 9. Get carried away.
To get carried away means to become so caught up in excitement or emotion that you lose your usual restraint or judgment. You go further than you intended. The feeling takes over.
Example, I got completely carried away during the sale and bought things I didn't plan to.
Or, it's easy to get carried away when every app is sending you discount notifications.
And our final expression, peace of mind.
Peace of mind means a state of inner calm, a feeling of security and freedom from worry or anxiety. When you have peace of mind, you're not constantly stressed about money or decisions or things.
Minimalism, at its heart, is really about protecting and creating more peace of mind. Example, simplifying her finances gave her real peace of mind for the first time in years.
Or, he turned down the purchase not because he couldn't afford it, but because debt would cost him his peace of mind.
Before we close today, I want to say something a little more personal, and Brian, you can jump in too. I grew up in a home where money was tight, and I think, without realizing it, I spent a lot of my adult years trying to make up for that. Buying things gave me a feeling, brief but real, of I've made it. I'm okay now. I have enough.
That's such an honest thing to say.
But the feeling never lasted, because it wasn't actually about the things. The thing was just a stand-in for the feeling I wanted. Safety, belonging, worth.
And the minimalist journey, the rules, the decluttering, the waiting, the why, what it actually taught me was that those feelings already lived inside me. They weren't in the next purchase.
And that's the real lesson. Minimalism is not about deprivation. It's not about living in an empty white room with one chair and a philosophical attitude.
It's about making space for what genuinely matters to you. Space in your home, space in your schedule, space in your mind, and honestly, space in your bank account.
When you stop filling every quiet moment with shopping, something interesting happens. You start to hear what you actually want, what your life actually needs, what genuinely makes you feel good, not for 5 minutes, but for a long time.
And if you're listening to this and feeling like you've been stuck in buy more mode, we want you to know something sincerely. You are not weak for feeling that pull. The system is deliberately designed to make you feel it.
But you are also not powerless. You have the ability to pause, to ask why, to wait, to choose differently.
One rule at a time, one decision at a time.
And every time you do, that's a small act of taking your life back.
That's a beautiful place to end.
It really is. Alrighty, wonderful humans, that is a wrap on today's episode of It's English Podcast.
If this episode added something to your day, a new phrase, a new thought, a moment of recognition, we'd genuinely love to hear from you.
Leave us a comment below. Which rule resonated with you the most? Or which one are you going to try first? Even a single sentence means the world to us.
And we have to ask, which one do you struggle with more? Buying too many things or feeling the pressure to look successful? Be honest, we're a safe space here.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to It's English Podcast and hit the notification bell. Every new subscriber helps us reach more English learners around the world.
And we want to reach all of them.
We'll see you in the next episode. Until then, buy less, feel more, and speak English with confidence.
Take care of yourselves, everyone. We'll talk soon.